Midnight echoes, the fluorescent lights hummed above Aya Nakamura as she pushed her cleaning cart through the empty corridors of Horizon Space Institute. Just another glamorous night in the life of a former xenolinguistics prodigy, she whispered. To herself, moving from one lab to another with practiced efficiency in the break room, her 8-year-old daughter, Sarah, slept peacefully on the worn couch, surrounded by scattered drawings of swirling symbols that resembled no earthly language. Aya smiled at the sight. Sarah had always been fascinated by her mother's old stories of potential alien communications. "Mommy had to give up the stars to keep you, little one," Aya murmured, brushing a strand of hair from Sarah's forehead. But she never regretted it, not for a moment 5 years ago. Aya had been the rising star at NASA's SETI. Division until pregnancy. Complications and a partner who vanished at the news forced her to choose between her career and her child. The choice was simple, but the consequences lasted. As she approached the main research lab, voices drifted through the partially open door. "It's been 3 weeks, Dr. Chen, and we've made no progress," a frustrated voice said. "The pattern repeats every 42 hours, but our algorithms can't find any linguistic anchors." Dr. Chenwei replied, his usually calm voice strained with exhaustion. "NASA's best cryptographers are stumped, and Washington is getting impatient." Aya paused outside the door. Her mop forgotten something about the conversation pulled at her. "Wakening dormant instincts, let me show you again." Dr. Chen continued as a display illuminated the darkened lab, projecting a series of symbols that pulsed and shifted in mesmerizing patterns. Aya's breath caught in her throat, the symbols they were eerily similar to. No, it couldn't be. She waited until the scientist left before slipping into the lab, her heart racing. The signal continued to play on loop, casting blue light across her face. She stared transfixed. These weren't random patterns. They mirrored the drawings that had covered Sarah's notebooks for months. With trembling fingers, she pulled out her phone and recorded a short segment before hurrying back to the break room. She gently woke Sarah, showing her the recording. "Honey, where did you learn to draw these patterns?" Sarah rubbed sleep from her eyes. "They sing to me in my dreams, Mommy. They've been singing for a long time, don't you hear them?" Aya felt a chill run down her spine. "What do they sing about?" "They're looking for someone who understands," Sarah yawned. "They say humans speak with straight lines and hard sounds, but real language flows like water." She traced a symbol in the air with her finger. "See, it means hello," across the darkness. Aya stared at her daughter, stunned. All those years studying xenolinguistics, theorizing about nonlinear communication patterns, and here was Sarah somehow intuitively grasping concepts that had eluded Earth's brightest minds. That night, after tucking Sarah back to sleep, Aya pulled out her old notebooks. Her fingers traced equations and theoretical models she'd once developed for translating potential non-human communications. With Sarah's insights as a guide, she began to see patterns where others had found only chaos. By morning, she had translated 3 complete phrases, and she knew exactly what she had to do. Whispered secrets. Aya established a routine over the next 2 weeks. Each night after completing her cleaning rounds, she'd slip into the data lab when no one was watching. She'd download small segments of the transmission, work on translations until dawn, then leave a single decoded phrase on Dr. Chun's desk before disappearing into the morning light. "Who is this Cassini person?" Dr. Chun demanded. Pacing the conference room where his team gathered, he held up the latest note, handwritten on Institute stationery. "How is someone translating what our supercomputers can't process?" "Could be a prank," suggested Cooper Kai, the head of security, his suspicious gaze sweeping across the assembled scientists. "Or worse, a security breach." "No," Dr. Chen shook his head firmly. "These translations are legitimate. I verified them against the original signal. They follow consistent patterns, whoever Cassini is. They understand something we don't." Across the Institute, AIA sat in the cafeteria during her lunch break, Sarah beside her doing homework. The little girl looked up suddenly. "They're getting louder, Mommy." "The voices from the stars," Honey, Aya whispered, glancing around nervously. "Remember our secret game? We don't talk about the star voices where others can hear." Sarah nodded solemnly, but her eyes sparkled with excitement. "Did Dr. Chen like our message about the cosmic rivers?" "He seems very interested." Aya smiled, amazed at how her daughter somehow intuitively understood concepts that had taken Aya years of academic study to grasp. It was as though Sarah had been born with an innate understanding of non-linear linguistic structures. The symbols that confounded NASA's best minds appeared to Sarah as natural as English. That night, Aya approached the Institute's AI interface terminal after ensuring no cameras were watching Arya. She whispered, "I need computational assistance without creating system logs." The sleek AI terminal illuminated such actions violate protocol, Miss Nakamura. Arya's synthesized voice responded, somehow managing to sound both professional and conspiratorial. Override protocol, Cassiopeia 9. Aya entered an old command sequence from her NASA days, hoping the back door still existed. A moment of silence, then. Override accepted. "How may I assist you, Dr. Nakamura?" Aya blinked at the use of her former title. "You remember me. My databases retain all personnel records. You were classified as exceptional talent. Resignation. Significant loss," Arya responded. "Current employment status inconsistent with capability assessment." "Life happens, Arya," Aya sighed. "I need complex mathematical modeling for nonlinear linguistic patterns." She uploaded Sarah's drawings alongside signal fragments. "Processing," Arya responded. "Correlation coefficient, 89. 7% match." Fascinating. The terminal displayed evolving translation matrices. For 3 hours, Aya and Arya worked together, building a comprehensive translation framework. By morning, she had decoded a complete message. Segment: we reach across void space, seeking kindred minds. Our world orbits distant star. You name Kepler. 442. We have observed your signals for many cycles. Time comes for meeting of species. Aya's hands trembled as she wrote this on fresh paper, signing it Cassini, and placing it on Dr. Chen's keyboard. As she turned to leave, a voice stopped her cold. Working late, Ms. Nakamura, or should I say early. Cooper Kai stood in the doorway, arms crossed over his broad chest, his expression unreadable in the dim light. "Just finishing my shift, Mr. Kai," she replied evenly, gesturing to her cleaning cart nearby in the research lab with no cleaning supplies. His eyebrow arched. "Interesting route to take. I was emptying trash bins," she said, heart pounding. "Dr. Chen works late. I try not to disturb him." Cooper's eyes narrowed. "Dr. Chen left 3 hours ago. I've been watching the security feeds. There's been unusual activity in this section for weeks. Care to explain why a night custodian is accessing restricted terminals?" Before Aya could respond, a message flashed across every screen in the lab. "Connection established. Transmission incoming." Beginning visual interface sequence. Both turned toward the main display as it filled with swirling luminous symbols. The alien signal had just become a two-way communication. "Hidden brilliance, what did you do?" Cooper demanded, his eyes wide as the symbols danced across the screen. "Nothing," Aya whispered, equally transfixed. "It's responding on its own." Before Cooper could question her further, the lab doors burst open, and Dr. Chen rushed in, his usually immaculate appearance disheveled. He froze when he spotted Aya, confusion crossing his features before his attention was captured by the display. "It's evolving," he breathed, moving toward the terminal. "The signal pattern has shifted to a response format." He turned sharply to Aya. "Who are you really?" Cooper stepped forward. "She was leaving notes on your desk, Dr. Chen. I caught her red-handed." Dr. Chen's intense gaze fixed on Aya. "You're Cassini?" Aya straightened her shoulders, the weight of pretense falling away. "My name is Dr. Aya Nakamura. I specialized in theoretical xenolinguistics at NASA's SETI program." Before she hesitated, before life took a different turn, the Nakamura who wrote the paper on nonlinear communication patterns in potential extraterrestrial species. Dr. Chen's expression transformed from suspicion to astonishment. "Your work was brilliant, groundbreaking, then you disappeared. I became a mother," she said simply, "and when my research grant wasn't renewed, I needed stable employment." She gestured to her custodial uniform, hence the career change. Dr. Chen seemed speechless. Processing this revelation, Cooper looked between them, confused by the shift in dynamics. The screens pulsed again, drawing their attention. "It's waiting for a response," Aya said quietly. "We should continue the communication while the connection is active." "How?" Dr. Chen asked. "We've barely begun to understand their language, my daughter," Aya replied. Sarah somehow intuitively understands their linguistic structure. She's been drawing these symbols for months. We've been working together to decode them. Dr. Chun's scientific skepticism battled with the evidence. Before him, you expect me to believe your child can communicate with aliens. I expect you to follow the evidence, Dr. Chen. Aya responded firmly. Which would you prefer? Continued failure, or the possibility of success through unconventional means? Morning found them in the main conference room. Sarah sitting cross-legged on the table, surrounded by screens. In drawings, Dr. Chen watching in amazement as the child traced symbols in the air, perfectly matching those appearing on the displays. They say they've been watching us for a long time, Sarah explained, her voice small but confident. They think in circles and spirals, not straight lines like we do. She tilted her head, listening to something no one else could hear. They're happy we finally answered, eh? Commotion at the door announced the arrival of Commander Rena, a stern woman from Mission Control. Her critical gaze swept the room before landing on Aya. Someone explain why there's a janitor and a child involved in a classified first contact scenario. Dr. Chen stepped forward protectively. Dr. Nakamura is the reason we have any translation at all. Commander, his hand briefly touched AI's shoulder, sending an unexpected warmth through her, and her daughter Sarah appears to possess an extraordinary linguistic gift. Commander Rena's expression remained skeptical. The Pentagon is breathing down my neck for progress, Dr. Chen. I need results, not fairy tales. Then let us work, Aya challenged, meeting the commander's gaze steadily, because right now, fairy tales are the only thing giving you results. Dr. Chen smiled, a new respect in his eyes as he looked at Aya. I believe we should establish Dr. Nakamura as Project Co-Led effective. Immediately, on whose authority? Commander Rena demanded. On the authority of the only humans currently communicating with an alien species. Dr. Chen replied, the quiet confidence in his voice brooking, no argument, unless you'd prefer to explain to your superiors why you removed our only successful translator. As the adults argued, Sarah continued her silent conversation with the stars, her small fingers weaving patterns that would soon change humanity forever. Stellar convergence. 3 weeks passed in a blur of discovery and breakthrough. The Horizon Institute transformed around IA's security clearances, granted new quarters assigned, and her old research resurrected from archived databases. Her cleaning cart sat forgotten in a supply closet as she worked alongside Dr. Chen day and night, their minds synchronizing in a dance of scientific passion. The translation matrix is stabilizing, Aya announced one evening, brushing hair from her eyes. They were alone in the lab, Sarah asleep in the newly furnished children's area nearby. I think we're ready for sustained dialogue. Dr. Chen moved to stand beside her, close enough that their shoulders touched. You continue to amaze me, Aya, he said, softly, his usual formality melting away in the late hour. Your intuitive leaps, the way your mind works. He shook his head in wonder. Says the man who memorized the entire signal pattern after hearing it once. Aya replied with a smile. Something had shifted between them in recent days, professional admiration evolving into something deeper, neither quite ready to name it. Their moment was interrupted as Isabel Torres, the mission specialist assigned to their team, entered with freshest data packets. The signal strength is increasing, she reported. And the translation team has confirmed your findings, Dr. Nakamura. We're getting clear communication. Now on the main screen, the full message unfolded in translated text. Greetings. From the collective of Kepler 442b, we have observed Earth's development with interest. Our species achieved interstellar travel 3,000 of your years ago. We proposed peaceful contact at coordinates enclosed. Our emissaries await dialogue with humanity's representatives. They want to meet us, Dr. Chen whispered. Awe, evident in his voice. Not just meet. Aya pointed to the coordinates. These are within our reach with current technology. They've positioned a vessel at the edge of DHF, our solar system. They're being cautious, respectful of our sovereignty. Commander Rena strode into the room, her perpetual frown softened by excitement. Washington is assembling a first contact team.
Out,
she announced. Dr. Chen, you're the obvious choice to lead the scientific delegation. Chen's expression brightened, then faltered, as he glanced at Aya, and Dr. Nakamura will join as chief linguist. Rena continued, surprising them both. Her expertise is irreplaceable. The mission launches. In 3 weeks after Rena left, Aya sank into a chair. conflicted emotions washing over her. "I can't go," she said quietly, "Sarah. Would be devastated if you didn't," came a small voice. They turned to find Sarah standing in the doorway. Her pajamas rumpled from sleep. "The star people are especially excited to meet me," she added matter-of-factly. Dr. Chen knelt before the child. "How do you know that, Sarah?" "They told me," she replied simply. "My dreams, they say I'm a bridge." Her small face grew serious. "They've been waiting for someone like me to be born." Later that night, after Sarah returned to sleep, Aya and Chen stood on the Institute's roof, gazing at the stars. "What if she's right?" Aya whispered. "What if? This isn't coincidence. What if Sarah was somehow meant to be our translator?" 5 years ago, I would have dismissed such ideas as unscientific, Chen admitted. His hand found hers in the darkness, fingers intertwining. "But now, after everything I've seen after meeting you, their first kiss happened beneath the vast canopy of stars. Tentative at first, then deepening with the release of long-held tension when they finally parted. Both slightly breathless, Aya rested her forehead against his. "I've wanted to do that since you corrected my translation matrix," Chen admitted with a rare smile. "I've wanted you to since you defended me to Commander Rena," she replied. "Come with me to the stars, Aya," he whispered against her. "Hair, we'll find a way to make it work with Sarah, I promise," as they held each other under the cosmic expanse. Isabel was making a discovery that would change everything. Deep in Sarah's brain scans, hidden within patterns no one had noticed, were structures identical to the alien signal itself. The child wasn't just translating the message, she was somehow part of it. Cosmic embraced the revelation about Sarah's brain scan sent shockwaves through the Institute. Isabel's discovery prompted a flurry of new tests and theories, while government officials debated the implications behind closed doors. "They're afraid of her," Aya realized during one tense meeting. Watching the nervous glances directed at her daughter, Sarah sat, quietly drawing complex symbols, oblivious to the storm surrounding her. "They fear what they don't understand," Dr. Chen replied quietly, his protective instincts extending now to both Nakamuras. "But I won't let them treat her like a lab specimen. I've made that clear to Rena, Commander." Rena approached them after the meeting, her expression softer than usual. "The mission has been approved," she informed them, "but the situation with Sarah complicates things. Pentagon wants her to remain here for observation." "Absolutely not." Aya's response was immediate, fierce. "Where I go, she goes." "I suspected you'd say that." Rena sighed, "which is why I proposed an alternative. The mission parameters have been expanded to include family units. Sarah will be officially designated as a mission-critical asset with you as her guardian. Both of you will join the contact team." Aya blinked in surprise. "That's unexpectedly reasonable. Not my idea." Rena nodded toward Dr. Chen. He was quite persuasive, threatened to withdraw if Sarah wasn't treated with appropriate dignity. "The mission launches in 3 days. I suggest you prepare." She walked away, leaving them alone. "You did that for us," Aya turned to Chen, emotion tightening. Her throat heated, her hand squeezing gently. "I did it for all of us. I told you we'd find a way." His eyes held a question, vulnerable. Despite his confident words, Dr. Chen Aya began formally, then softened. "Aya, Jian, I think I'm falling in love with you." The admission felt both terrifying and inevitable. His smile bloomed slowly, transforming his serious face. "I believe I fell for you the moment you corrected my xenomorphic syntax." He confessed. Their laughter mingled a moment of lightness. Amid the whirlwind of preparation that followed 3 days later, the sleek spacecraft Artemis stood ready on the launch pad, humanity's ambassador to the stars. Inside, a small crew of 12 specialists made final preparations, including the improbable family at the heart of the mission. "Are you scared, Sarah?" asked Arya, whose consciousness had been transferred to the ship's systems at her specific request. "I do not experience fear as humans do," the AI responded, "but I am processing new probability matrices regarding our encounter. It is stimulating." "That means she's excited," Aya translated with a smile. Adjusting Sarah's harness, Dr. Chen joined them in the command center. His new captain's uniform crisp and formal. "Final checks complete," he reported, then more softly, "Are you both ready?" Sarah nodded enthusiastically. "The star people are singing welcome songs," she reported. "They're very happy we're finally coming." Aya met Chen's gaze, finding strength in something more in his steady presence, ready as we'll ever be, as countdown commenced. Chen moved to the captain's chair, but reached back to squeeze Aya's hand one last time. The gesture spoke volumes. Its promises for the future, whatever strange new world. Awaited them T-minus 10 seconds. Arya announced 987. Aya closed her eyes briefly, remembering the cleaning cart, the lonely nights, the struggle to provide for Sarah on her own. How far they had come from those dark moments. 3 to 1, the engines ignited with a controlled fury, pressing them back into their seats as Earth fell away beneath them through the viewport. The blue planet diminished stars, multiplying around them hours later after achieving stable orbit. The crew gathered in the observation deck, Earth now a distant blue marble look. Sarah pointed suddenly toward a distant point of light that seemed to shimmer differently than the surrounding stars. On the tracking systems, an object appeared, moving with impossible grace toward their position. Its design unlike anything human minds had conceived here, Dr. Chen whispered, taking Ye's hand. The alien vessel approached its crystalline structure, catching starlight in hypnotic patterns inside the Artemis screens activated spontaneously, filling with the now familiar swirling symbols. Greetings, children of Earth. Our long solitude ends today as humanity's representatives prepared for humanity's first extraterrestrial meeting. Aya looked at the unlikely family fate had given her. Brilliant scientist whose mind matched her own. Remarkable daughter who bridged worlds in a future expanding before them. Infinite with possibility, Sarah's small hand slipped into hers. Don't worry, Mommy, she whispered, with the wisdom of stars in her eyes. This is just the beginning of our story, and as the airlock prepared to open, Aya knew with absolute certainty that her daughter was right there, journey both across the cosmos and into each other's hearts had only just begun.